Guruji, I wrote a few questions. One supposed to hold this here. That's how it came out. The with the reality and as existence in my little mind, this is my first question which came to my mind. They are all mind questions, Guruji. So if reality is like as you are pure and as you are innocent, so like I worry sometimes. No, I like there is. Can the question here is, Guruji, can existence in its purity and its innocence be taken advantage of? For example, do you still need to switch the stoves off? Or you worry about switching them off, or do you have to chain lock your hotel door? Things like that, or it's just you don't worry about those things. The question is, like as if in purity and its existence, then in such purity, is it vulnerable or not?
I do see myself as a more carefree, but I don't really it's like I don't see myself like worried or not worried. I don't see that way. I'm just, when I in my house, I see I'm really carefree person, and the others are worried, like I should be locking the door or something.
No, locking door is not a good example. Let's say a salesman wants microphone. Let's say a salesman wants to trick the existence into selling a vacuum for $5,000 or $10,000. You see what I'm saying? Like, my question is, can it be influenced? Like,
It's, in reality, it doesn't make a difference. It's up to me if I want to buy it. It's not about other person. The other person can be whoever he is. It doesn't matter to me. It's my choice if I like to buy or not.
Gurpreet, this question I'm going to ask you already answered me once, long time ago, but I've forgotten and still popping up in my mind. Has mind got any play in spirituality? Is it possible that mind can be very pure, where the emotions are pure, all the thinkings are pure? Under that condition, mind can play a role in spirituality?
Mind wasn't the trouble in the first place. Person is the trouble. When you want something, it's not about mind. You trained your mind that way. I want.
And who is training mind?
You greed.
Right. So therefore, greed, selfishness, all kinds of dishonesty, weakness, all these basically can tell your mind that, make the mind work
then
the way it wants to work.
then we just name it, oh, it's your mind.
Yeah.
Because then you train your mind that way, and you actually draw the line between your heart and your mind. And where you trained your mind, and as you trained your mind, now it's used to. Now it has the ownership of yours. Right? But underneath the mind, there's all your greed, your wants, needs, your weaknesses. That's underneath. So that's why we're pointing towards your patterns, your issues, and everything such a direct way, where you don't really have to attack to the mind. You don't have to. You cannot. Like giving power is easy. Taking power is not that easy. So once you've given the power to the mind, it's okay, you let it be. But now you coming, you can be pure by seeing your impurity.
Another question I have, sometimes we are going deeper and deeper within ourselves and looking into our patterns. And I have seen with myself, with my own experiment, that deeper we go, we see the pattern. Is there any end to it, or it gets finer and finer and finer?
When you're looking for an end, then there is no end.
There is no end. It only gets finer and finer and finer in seeing. Is that what it is?
Yes. Yes.
I'll ask another very stupid question. This one is, you know these things because you have seen everything. When my body leaves me, body is gone, what happens to my heart? Because that's a formless thing, right? Body is form. So therefore, a formless thing, when body gone, form gone, but the formless one is not going with it, where does it go to? Or it goes anywhere at all?
Formlessness stays with you.
Stays within. So therefore, when I leave this world, my body goes, but the formlessness, it stays with me. Does it carry anything with it, wherever it is going to? Past work, past deeds, or whatever it may be. Does it carry that with it?
It's not about the past days. It's about what you're carrying deep within you.
Okay. And there is no chance of any kind of improvement once you leave the body. Only while you're in the body you can.
Yes.
The chances of improvement. That makes sense what you're saying, yes. Makes full sense. Well, I think...
what you said, your reply to I didn't hear, excuse me, I didn't hear the complete question or the beginning of the answer, but I heard you, it was about what if someone wanted to sell you a vacuum cleaner for $5,000 and you said, it's my choice whether I want to buy it or not. Can you talk about choice on this path and how that comes into play on this? The things that we choose or not choose, or by letting things, by not making a decision, that itself might be a choice.
When you're walking in this, every step you take, that is more realization about the unrealness. So every step you take when you realize the unrealness, that is the signal to you, be direct where you're going. And in that going, you have no choice. Only one way. But even in the other worldly stuff, if you make any choice, it's perfectly okay. But you just learn to be in that complete okayness. Then there is no issue left.
So it could be a choice between I got accepted to two universities, and I choose one over the other. I made the decision.
Whichever way you go, you're gonna make a choice. It's okay. Whichever way, it won't make any difference. But you can go with your heart choice, what your heart saying yes to. You just can go with it. Even if you don't, even if you make wrong choice, even you realize, oh, that wasn't the right choice, you can learn to be okay in it. You can learn to embrace that choice of yours as is. By taking every pain comes from that side.
So it's not necessarily the choice, it's the being okay, really being okay with everything that happens, your decisions, your choices.
Because it's not about any kind of gain. Because the choices in the worldly choices, the person always as a person think where I'm gonna gain more. But in this you don't. In this you're just okay because you're just okay to lose, whichever way it is. So in this, everything will fall in the okayness. There won't be any wrong choice. It's not going to be.
So even if in one choice later on you say, oh, there's much pain in here, it doesn't matter, it's just pain is
more
okay.
Pain is better. It really able to open you up. If you're running from the pain, then you'll go somewhere else because your inner knows, your deeper, it knows what you need. If you're avoiding something, you're avoiding at the surface. You're not avoiding from the inner self. When you're avoiding at the surface, your inner knows this is what you're avoiding. And then you're gonna create somewhere else same pain.
Same pain. I think we've all experienced that. It's like it keeps coming back over and over until you actually face it, be in it. Yeah.
Yes, completely.
Yeah. And it comes down to the inner again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because at the inner, everything is okay.
Even when it's not okay, it's like it's okay.
Not okay is you see.
Yeah.
Oh, I still have not okayness. And then you're okay.
Okayness is always the bottom line.
Yes.
It's like there's nothing underneath okayness. Oh. Thank you.
Guruji, forgive me. Related to Mark's question, So when you say within, Guruji, is like I was listening to Karanji's in your talk on the YouTube or your website also, but Karanji, I asked her just before the meeting. She was referring to man sometimes, and the other reference she was making man as heart also as a reference. So is heart the real self, Guruji, and the mind is the person when we talk? Is mind when you say person? Do I understand it as mind?
Actually, when we start from the heart, because originally there is so much directness in it.
Yes.
And as you learn to be in the heart, and as you become to be more and more pure inside, and eventually everything gonna become hard, including your mind, completely. There will be no person, no mind, nothing. Everything is one. But that comes very, very later on, not in the very beginning. In the beginning, you only see your impurities continue.
Yes, Guruji. I'm. Thank you for the answer. But then, the hard part is clear, Guruji. So person, do I understand as mine or my outer self or my unreal self or?
Like any want and need. Any kind of ego. It's all from the person. So whenever there is ego, you don't have to understand this is my person. You're just seeing just the ego. That's it. You're just seeing it's just a want and need somewhere. There's attachments. You see that way. You don't need to understand what is a mind, what is a person, because that gonna continue confuse you. It's easy for me to say that person, okay, this is still your mind. So that way that person understanding, I'm saying as a person, so the person can understand what I'm talking about. But you don't need to understand that. You can see much direct way, simple. If there is an ego, you see that. If there is a want, attachment, anything.
So as last time in Toronto, you said just stay in your heart and then see whatever comes, like greed, desire, and all those things,
Or whatever is hidden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Gurpreet, I'd like to ask a question. Can you hear me? Often you talk about giving yourself to the deep so that you give yourself totally, so that you never look back, you never come out. And I find myself sometimes in that and sometimes coming out, and it's like it is like a door that once you step in, you can step in it fully. Can you please tell me, like, when you were learning, like, how it was when you stepped in it fully once and for all? meaning you no longer came out. What was that like? Because I always find myself at that boundary where I'm sometimes more in this and sometimes coming out of that. Like, how can we just cross that and always... What was helpful to you?
When the longing is strong, you're less careless about the boundaries. For me, there were fallings, there were boundaries, there were everything. But the longing, that pain, that pull was stronger than them. Any time even I was falling, I remember it's okay to get up again. And always there was more learning in it. So that's why I keep telling everybody, it's not about falling. It's okay to fall, but not to sleep in the falling. Get up right away and then come back.
It, yeah. It sometimes is like it's a new way of living that opens up, and sometimes not being accustomed to it can bring us back as well.
Of course.
Yeah. Was it small things that...
But remember not to stay in the falling too long.
Yes.
Or your accustomed self too long. New way. Even there is a discomfort. Even there is so much falling, slipping. It's just okay. But choose to be in the new way.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Uma?
Guruji, I realize the falling happens. But sometimes even realizing the falling is happening, it's not easy to get up right away. It's almost like you just go with it and then only you can turn back. That's like I just realized that in last couple of weeks that I could see that, but I could not stay up with it. I was awake in it as I was falling, but I couldn't stop. Is that like sometimes happens, like you are aware that you are falling, but you can't just push yourself back right away?
Because in the falling, there is sometimes the person go in the trying. So each time you fall, you recognize what you are doing. Are you going back in the trying? If you are trying, it's not going to work again. So every falling is teaching you something new.
And I realized that that there is always something new when I get up from it, because there is a lesson to learn. But I find that myself, like when I'm falling, I just be with it. Okay. And as you say, trying doesn't work. And I was realizing it's not working, and then I said, okay. And then I do come back.
Because it can be many, many ways you are participating. So every falling is, again, useful.
Another thing, Gurpreet ji, it's the second or third time has happened to me, and it's like you lose total touch of this teaching. Like it was like, I don't know what's happening. It's like I don't remember anything. It's like happens.
Yes.
Mm.
Because when you are more in the heart, and your memory is not like it used to be, and especially when you're walking toward this new way, every time it's like a blankness. You don't remember, especially this. So that's why the notes help so much. The talks help so much.
What I find was helping me that just continue being in the seeing and being in. If something I don't remember, I say, oh, that's okay, type of thing. Being more okay, being in that lostness and losing the teaching.
Yes.
Thank you.
In a connection, I think it was with Roz, you talked about doormat. I heard the word doormat. Did I hear that? Yeah. Okay. And what I wondered, because I have a definition of doormat around boundaries and so on, and I wondered if you could just explain a little bit more, as your heart is so open, and then we live in the world. What is that balance? How do we not be a doormat, for instance? Or what did you mean by doormat?
You said doormat or
doormat, I thought you said. Then you'll be you would be a doormat.
I think
Dormant. Okay, I heard doormat. Okay.
even the doormat is okay. You can completely be a doormat.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I wanted to. But then doormat is sticking. Okay.
Still, as you're living with the world,
Yes.
it's not the problem at all. It's like the person trained opposite way. Person think, oh, if I am a doormat, the people gonna walk over me.
Yes.
That's misunderstanding. Because nobody want to be a doormat. Because everybody's thinking that way. And everybody when thinking that way, and nobody is, you don't have experience being doormat. If you're not being in there completely as a doormat, how you know? Because in the meantime, you're just living in the perception.
It's just a perception.
Beingness shows you it's just okay to be that way. It's okay to be just on the floor. It's okay. This is a true way. But not because of the world, because of you. This is what you choose to be.
Mm-hmm.
If your focus is on the other people, and then you're trying to be a doormat, and then you're losing.
Or trying not to be a doormat.
Then you're also
Then you're losing.
The focus is need to be in you completely, not in other people in any ways.
Thank you.
The other people only showing you what you lacking in you. When the people showing you what you're lacking in you, because of your reaction, you don't see that. Because of your own ego, you don't see that. Because you close the door. No. And the person is showing you, you open that door in you, for you. It's not about the person at all who's around you, or it's not completely about other people. It's about you. Completely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now I have two questions. Why do we have pain, that much pain, heart pain, ache?
When you don't embrace the pain, when you label it bad, when you're closing it, it's too much. But in reality, there is no pain. It's too much. It's like when you are narrow, you're just giving little room to your pain, and pain is more. And when you're giving this much room, you'll feel too much. And if you just, these walls, if you remove them, and now no pain, because the pain have lots of room.
Whenever I have pain, in your presence is nothing. Is
because your walls are down.
But when it's out, you are not there. So I narrow it unknowingly.
Yes.
And that pain becomes suffering.
Yes.
When you said it's not about other people, when we are living with somebody who we have deal with every day, so it's about others too, it's not?
You use that person as your own way of opening in you. Then you are dealing with the person with just open heart. When you think I have to deal with that person, you first narrow yourself and completely come out from yourself to deal with it, because this is what you're thinking. But when you are being with such an open heart, and you are being with the other person, and you're just being with the other person, just simple way, whatever that person is, you're not making your business, but you're just letting be that person's business.
Then we don't suffer. Thank
questions, I guess maybe I would just like to say we have some new guests, and if you would like to ask a question to Gurpreet ji, you're welcome. And otherwise, we will continue with the people who are learning.
Amandeep, this lady
Yes.
want to ask.
Though I will not be really good at English, but I want to ask you, from where to start the newcomers? From where I should start this path? What is the technique? How can I start?
The first thing is to come to the meetings. That's the very big thing for the newcomers. Because it's not something you can understand with the mind. It's not something I give you. So you can say, okay, I understand with the mind and I can do it. It's not like that. If you can do with the mind, you don't need me. And I don't have to do the meetings. Because the presence is so important to the person. Person need to learn to sit in these meetings. Because sitting here, you actually get it through the heart, much direct way. Because with the mind, it depends where you're coming from. Mind filters everything first and then let it come to the heart. And by the time you already twist that word, you won't let it go to your heart direct way. So sitting in the meetings, you learn so much how to be so open, how direct, how